All right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Taylor Kyles here for CLNS Media, back with yet another episode of the Patriots Daily Podcast here on the CLNS Media Network, here as a members-only live stream. Right now, this episode will drop later on the channel, so if you are watching after, you may not be a member. I highly suggest you becoming a member of Patriots Press Pass for these exclusive early drops of these shows and several other awesome perks. But at any rate, no ads today because this is a members-only program, so we are powered by you guys. And today, we are going to break down Drake Maye's performance against the Cincinnati Bengals. As we know from the high-level stats, he goes 22 of 35 for 294 yards, a career high. Throws the one touchdown to Hunter Henry, and then, as we know, the hideous pick six interception to start this game off. So we have a couple themes, a couple plays from Drake that we want to break down. Taylor dove into the film, has some cut-ups here for us to take a look at what we saw from him, including some high-quality eye manipulation from the young quarterback, as well as some elite accuracy, as well as anticipation. So looking forward to those, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that, Taylor. But first, we asked the question that is the title of this podcast episode here. Is Drake Maye still in the MVP running? Did he stunt his campaign? Did he help his campaign against Cincinnati? 9 wins in a row, a career high in passing yards. However, plenty of ups and downs. I know the season doesn't end today. There is still plenty of other games to be had. But as things sit right now, are you hot or are you cold on Drake Maye's potential MVP candidacy through 12 weeks of the season?
I feel like I've kind of been coming down on it the past few weeks, and always with the caveat of, hey, it's not anything against him necessarily. This is a second-year quarterback who we're talking about in the MVP race. So he's joining the kind of caliber that we saw from Patrick Mahomes, from Lamar Jackson, these guys who in their second seasons just absolutely took off. So while I don't think he should be the front runner anymore, I do think he still should be in the conversation. When you look at his efficiency metrics, even with a lot of the sophomore mistakes now that he is making, you still see him at the top of the league in pretty much everything that matters. Unfortunately, he's also creeping up there when it comes to turnover-worthy plays and turnover-worthy play rate. That has been the biggest thing for me that's kind of kept him out of that conversation. But at the same time, I mean, you're talking about maybe his worst game this season, one of the worst of his young career, and he still sets career high with 294 yards, where you're talking about literally if one of those kind of glaring mistakes isn't made, then he easily is over 300. And we've talked about that so many times that he's very close. And there's some times where he really should have, and it was outside of his control. But even more than that, while I just think that Matthew Stafford, I think he is playing completely out of his mind right now. And when you compare the two, yes, they're both making incredible plays, but Stafford is at a level that every quarterback in the NFL wishes they could be at right now. And he's producing at a high level while still protecting the football. And that, to me, is what an MVP is. Week in and week out, they are not only a reason you win games, but they are also keeping you from potentially being in bad spots. No quarterback is perfect. And I think that the flashes of positivity we see from Drake Maye are even more exciting because you're like, these are things that quarterbacks his age should not be doing as comfortably as he does. It's really 3 to 5 plays a game that you're just like, all right, take those out as you mature, learn what you can and can't get away with, as we talked about before the season. And it's hard to ride that roller coaster and maintain that mentality, especially when the quarterback is completely blowing away expectations. So he's still in the race, and I think he should be. Do I think that he should be the guy? No, I feel like it's Matthew Stafford, head and shoulders. I still like Jonathan Taylor. What he's done this season has been fantastic, even if it hasn't been quite as consistent. But yeah, Drake Maye still playing at a great level. You have a second-year quarterback who deserves to be spoken about among the best players at his position. So take pride in that, and we'll dive into some of the reasons. But at the same time, I don't think he, like this roster, when we talked about the Super Bowl thing and whether or not, you know, they are actual contenders to win a Super Bowl versus just making it out of this conference, I think that they are way closer than they have any business being, quarterback and team-wise, in terms of competitiveness. They're just not quite there yet, and there's no shame in that.
Yeah, I'm with you as far as like I feel like the goalposts are shifting so quickly for Drake Maye. All we wanted was a second-year leap, and all of a sudden it's like, shit, can he really maybe compete for MVP? Like, he's only 23. He does have these gaps, and then you summed it up there perfectly, where in a game that wasn't great and had plenty of ups and downs, he still sets his career high for passing yards. He still made some incredible throws that we're going to break down here in a second. So, like, frustrating is not the right word, but it's kind of, you know, strange how quickly things have shifted, and he is playing great football. But again, and I wrote this up earlier for SI, the oldest players ever to win MVP. Stafford's 37. He would jump into the top 5. There was obviously that 40-year-old Tom Brady season. Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs at 37 and 38. So
I was at one of those ESPYs, by the way. It was the same year that Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah, that's so
or NFL honors.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's same shit. But so it also feels like a sometimes it's like a career lifetime achievement award when it gets down. Obviously, we'd have 22-year-old, 23-year-old not Stafford, excuse me. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes have won the award, but in a season that Stafford's playing this again, having 25 touchdowns, 0 interceptions since week 3, like
that's Brady.
He's
shit.
on
That's real Brady shit.
It is, so he's on a different level. It's no shame to what Drake Maye's done. Obviously, he's still playing high quality football and is in the conversation, and that's all that should be written home about right now. But I do think that at the end of the day, right now, it is Matthew Stafford's award to lose, and the betting odds say that as well. So at any rate, Drake Maye still in this conversation. And we're going to break down a couple plays as to why. Again, I mentioned the themes that Taylor brought up. We're going to go over some eye manipulation, elite level accuracy, and anticipation as well. And the first one is Hunter Henry's touchdown from the first half in this game. So Taylor, what did you see? Break it down for us from the quarterback as well as the tight end.
Yeah, so this play, when you look at it initially, might not have been extremely impressive because Hunter Henry gets wide open on the throw. It's basically, hey, just don't miss your target. But what I noticed watching was he's so open, it looks a little funky. Like, I think that Drake might have done a little something to create that window, and that's exactly what he did. So we'll break that down. Let's get rid of that lower third real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you got okay.
Yep, my bad.
So second quarter, about 10 minutes. This is 1st and 10. Patriots in a good situation here. So they're going to come out in 11 personnel, as you see Mack Hollins to the top with Hunter Henry as the inline tight end, Mario Douglas in the slot, Kayshon Boutte at the bottom, Travion Henderson in the backfield. Don't know where that went. I love technology.
That's
technology is my friend.
There we go.
Anyway, so we got our 11 personnel there. Now the route concept we're going to get against this too high look from the Bengals is essentially a scissors concept, which means you're going to attack with the post from the outside receiver with a corner from the inside receiver. You can also call this kind of a sail route or flood route because you have the deep route there. You have this intermediate route from Hunter Henry, and then Demario Douglas is going to come across the field on a jet sweep. Patriots used a lot of play action and motion from Demario Douglas, especially with him kind of being involved in some backfield looks to create confusion and attack the second level from the Bengals because their linebackers are very susceptible. And then you're going to get kind of an inside fake to Travion Henderson. We really want to take a look at the top of the screen, obviously, because that's where Hunter Henry is going to be. Now, Drake Maye, actually from the safety, one important thing to note before I move on is they're starting in a too high look, the Bengals, but the safety to the field side with all the space is actually going to be in center field, and this kind of safety to the boundary is going to shoot down so he can cover the short to intermediate part of the outside part of the field, and really is one of the primary defenders that you would hope would be able to somehow contest this throw to Hunter Henry. So now we are going to go to Drake Maye off the play fake. First thing he does before he's even finished his drop is he's looking to the middle of the field to confirm the coverage, and he sees that it is transitioned from a too high look to a single high defense. Now, if they had stayed in a too high look, there's a possibility that maybe you hit Mack Hollins, because if it's something like quarters or anything like that, there's going to be some room over the middle of the field. But with this post safety here, you really want to attack outside of that corner route. I think Drake Maye realizes that. So once he actually executes the fake, sees that, you're also going to notice that the safety who kind of flew down is really paying attention to Demario Douglas. So there's always the possibility that he does that, and then Drake Maye kind of leads him to Hunter Henry. That's not what the second-year quarterback does. Instead, he is immediately, when he finishes and kind of gets to the top of his drop, he looks left to the flat. And look at all of these defenders' eyes. Everyone is looking down towards Demario Douglas. Now, credit Josh McDaniels for the design of this play and using the jet motion to create part of that confusion. We also got to credit Drake Maye because, again, if he looks to Hunter Henry, there's a possibility that one of these defenders sniffs it out and is able to buzz under Hunter Henry's route. Instead, everybody's attention is to the flats. That is going to result in Hunter Henry getting wide open. And as you see, Mack Hollins, his defender, I'm not positive if it was man coverage, but the way he plays this, he's not really getting eyes to the rest of the field, so it feels like it really is man, and that's going to put these underneath guys in a bad spot because, as you can see, Hunter Henry is already behind them. And one thing that's important to note before we get to the next slide is Drake Maye is getting some heat off the edges. Yep. You see Morgan Moses, or actually, is this Morgan Moses? I think
looks
that's
like
actually
Marcus because there's a
that's Marcus
there.
Bryant. Yeah, this is one of the plays where it's not egregious. You still force him around the arc, but Drake Maye getting to the top of his drop is going to need to avoid this edge pressure, and he does a great job doing that. Keeps two hands on the ball as he slides up in the pocket. You can see that right here. They try to kind of get him. There is some contact on Drake Maye's hip, but again, two hands out in front so that they can't actually attack the ball, and then is able to break out of this contact to step into a really nice pocket. Once again, Hunter Henry wide open with no one having any idea that he's at this part of the field with no one going there. So Drake Maye sliding up, 1 foot on the ground, is going to deliver this throw to a wide open Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry catches it. Two defenders in the exact same area are trying to chase him. And as you can see, the deep safety and Mack Hollins defender are both covering him. Creates an easy touchdown for Hunter Henry thanks to, again, the jet motion and the eye discipline and manipulation from Drake Maye. And you see Hunter Henry, before he's even crossed the goal line, Mack Hollins is already there with a funny little celebration. So, might not have been the most impressive play where he gets a great grade on this, but still just appreciating the little parts of Drake Maye's game where he is able to help create these windows. And this is something you see from him very consistently when he wants to go downfield, knowing he's got to do something with those underneath defenders to keep them from getting into the throwing lane.
And it's one of those plays where you look at it on the surface, the TV copy as it's first played, and it's like, oh, the guy's wide open. Like, Drake Maye's not doing anything on this play. Why is he, again, I'm going back to the storylines, but why is he the MVP? Why are we so impressed with Drake? They're scheming it up. But yes, it's schemed up great, but also, like you said, he moves those guys down with his eyes, does something, and there's so much more to the play than just Maye dropping back to find a wide open Hunter Henry on an out route that you don't see essentially on the first run through. And clearly it shows here how how he was able to move those guys and get Hunter Henry open towards the end zone for a touchdown. So great stuff there from Drake on this one. Another one with some eye manipulation, Taylor, we want to talk about is Austin Hooper. Throws him open or throws him on a seam route against cover 3. How did you break this one down?
Yeah, so this is where we're going to get into the elite ball placement and anticipation from Drake Maye. So that when it's open, you don't need a super accurate ball. You really just got to get it there and not screw the play up. But here, you do see the eye discipline very, very subtly. It was hard for me to capture in a screenshot, but if you actually go to my timeline, somebody posted a great job of some of his best plays and his big-time throws. I don't know why that keeps happening. But with those big-time throws, this was one of them. And you can see how Drake Maye actually subtly helps create the window with what he's going to do with his eyes and his footwork. So as you can see, this is starting the 2-minute situation. The Patriots right around midfield here, up by 4 points. Now, here we got an empty formation. The Patriots and Josh McDaniels abused these, especially from this look where you see Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper together on one side of the formation attached to the core. With Ramondre Stevenson, he had left the backfield to put all three of these bigger bodies to the left-hand side with Mack Hollins in the slot, Kayshon Boutte outside. This is running personnel, but obviously not a run look. Great job getting the Bengals into their base defense where they have 3 linebackers at the second level with their 4 defensive linemen down in front, and obviously a single high look from the coverage. Now, the Patriots are going to attack with a verticals concept. So Ramondre Stevenson's just going to stay shallow here. You're going to get Mack Hollins running. I'm not sure if it's an option exactly, but he is going to break outside. Kayshon Boutte's running a vertical to his side, and then you're going to get Austin Hooper going down the seam and Hunter Henry threatening a little bit further outside to help create some displacement with the coverage and widen them out, which Drake Maye is also going to contribute to doing. And against this single high look, you do want the seam. You just have to be careful to not put your tight end in harm's way and bring that safety to him and create some big hits. That's a big, big thing. Don't want any hospital balls. Now, Drake Maye gets the throw, and as you see, Austin Hooper is already in some pretty significant traffic here. So the slot defender is kind of going upfield with him. He still has to pay attention to Hunter Henry, but if Drake Maye stares Austin Hooper down, then this guy can just keep following him up the seam and not necessarily respect what's going on underneath. But what Drake Maye does is he very subtly moves his feet and his eyes outside. I think it's more towards Hunter Henry, and that's going to get this slot defender to actually widen out and create more room for Austin Hooper down the seam and an easier throw for the quarterback. And that's what we see, right? Now that slot defender isn't carrying Austin Hooper up the seam. He's now triggering towards Hunter Henry, who's already running into some coverage there. So Drake Maye, really nice pocket here, is ready to throw this. But not only is it a tight window because of where Austin Hooper currently is, he's about to run into a void where you have this outside corner in a deep coverage and this post safety both trying to collide and break up the throw. If Drake Maye decides to throw this inside, there's a chance that Austin Hooper gets his head taken off. And if he throws it too far outside, potential that this outside cornerback can make a play on it. But you're going to get perfect ball placement from Drake Maye. I'm going to show the end zone angle for a better view. But even from here, you can see he puts it away from the safety, not so far out that the outside corner can make a play on it, and you've got an explosive play that puts you on the other side of the field during the 2-minute situation immediately. Now let's look at the end zone angle for a better appreciation of this throw, because he also gets it over this linebacker, and you don't realize how close it is unless you're able to see this angle. So once again, beautiful, beautiful pocket here from the Patriots, especially the interior with Ben Brown in there. Look how close.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't see this angle at first. That's awesome.
Literally a fingernail away from just popping this up. Maybe it's an incompletion. Maybe it goes straight up and it's a turnover opportunity. I don't know. I'm not going into the possibilities, but this is a ridiculous throw. And this is before it even gets to the target. So a beautiful layered throw over that linebacker. And then again, they're in base personnel. There's a chance that maybe that's a defensive back if they don't go with the 2 tight end set, heavier personnel. So really good job manipulating the personnel. And then the safety is right there at the catch point. Again, if he just puts this right on Austin Hooper's body, so he runs up the seam, doesn't have to move, but just catches it like this, there's even still the chance that he gets blown up. I remember last year in that Bills game where I thought Drake threw a decent ball, but even still the safety was able to come over top and laid a big hit on Austin Hooper. Yeah. That is not the case there. Just gorgeous ball placement here from Drake Maye. Do we have another clip? No, that's the last one. But again, a ridiculous play, both from the perspective of creating the window himself with a very subtle move in the pocket and then putting it over the defender. So a great layered throw, but also good placement, putting it on the right shoulder to protect his tight end.
Reminded me a lot of that throw against the Raiders in week 1, where he threw Henry down the seam away towards the ground, away from the defender, like where literally only he could get it. And same thing there with Hooper. But the fact that he also put it over that guy in the defender, the fingertip, is absolutely nuts.
Ridiculous.
So just showing.
By the way, that was the first play that I thought of when it happened live. I was like, that was the Hunter Henry seam. So well done, my friend. Well done.
Thank you. I'm not. What's the saying? I'm
ball
more
knower?
than I'm cracked up to be. Yeah,
I don't know. Oh, I'm so bad with phrases.
That's okay.
You know me.
Yeah, but I got my ball knower is slowly coming out of me during these film breakdowns. But next one we have here is the Pop Douglas seam route throw that on the broadcast Kevin Harlan called a touchdown. I don't know if you saw that.
Did he say touchdown or touchdown?
It sounded like touchdown. He probably said touchdown, but it was like he said like 45 touchdown. It was like, no, it's not a touchdown.
That's so weird.
And Mike Vrabel actually called out Pop Douglas after the game as well for this play, giving them a little bit of a spark on offense that they needed. So another one where just some elite accuracy here on this one as well. So what did you see on that? Break it down for us.
Yeah, this was especially impressive because we've seen Drake Maye attack cover 2, especially disguise cover 2. Usually he goes for the hole shots where he's throwing between the cloud defender or cloud corner and the deep safety. Here, we actually see him attack the pole runner or the middle field defender, who essentially is acting as deep coverage, but they're starting from a shallower depth. We saw him do this last year in London, if you remember. There was a situation where he threw right at Hunter Henry when he was over the middle, and another one where he was able to attack KJ Osborne because they didn't carry, and Drake Maye saw a void here. But this throw is better than either one of those. This one is absolutely ridiculous. I think I've said it on other shows. It was basically a handoff on a deep throw. And on 3rd and 11, on your own 9-yard line, this shows how fearless the Patriots are. You're actually going to notice that when Drake Maye lets this go, he's standing in his own end zone and immediately gets the Patriots to midfield. So let's dive into it because this play gave me goosebumps. All right. So we got Ramondre Stevenson in the backfield, Demario Douglas in the slot. Outside, we got Kayshon Boutte and Mack Hollins with Hunter Henry flexed out as the tight end. Now, we are going to get 3 verticals or a 9-8-9 route, where the 9s are these goes from the outside receivers, and that 8 is it's like a seam or a post. It's the same idea. Yeah. Basically, you're attacking the middle while running a vertical route. Then you're going to get a chip and leak out from Hunter Henry to the flat. And then you're going to have Ramondre Stevenson helping out on the left side. Josh McDaniels loves to help his tight end, or loves to help his tackles in pass protection. So vertical concept, and again, just a ridiculous thing to call when you are already in an extra long yardage situation. And this is going to take Drake Maye, once he gets this ball, into his own end zone. Now, the Bengals are showing a single high look, but they are going to have this safety down here run all the way to the deep half, while this linebacker, who's over Garrett Bradbury, is going to have to sprint down the middle to try to take anything vertical, which, as we know, is going to be Demario Douglas. And because Demario Douglas is the strength of the formation, because he's the biggest threat on the inside, the linebacker is sprinting to his direction. He's not even really looking at Hunter Henry. So, again, once the ball gets snapped and Drake Maye hits the top, he's right in front of the end zone. He's right at the top. So, he's got to get this ball out, but great job also from the Patriots, giving him a nice pocket where he can work from so he doesn't have to try to make this from any kind of muddy pocket. Demario Douglas is getting past the one hook defender, right? So, he's starting to get over the top, but this guy is running with him. So Drake Maye has to throw this with a bit of anticipation and perfect touch to make sure that he doesn't basically hit the linebacker in the back of the head. Now, as Drake's letting this go, Pop's about even with the linebacker, and the linebacker is playing his hands in good position to contest this. Because while the Bengals linebackers aren't the most instinctive and they're still young guys, they are very good athletes. Drake doesn't care. He trusts his guy more than he trusts the Bengals to make a play on this. And then... ridiculous throw. You start from your own 9-yard line and end up just near midfield and past the 40. And Drake Maye, I wish I could show the actual video. It does this
touchdown,
but go watch it on Twitter or wherever you want, because this was sick ball placement to get it past the linebacker and allow Demario Douglas to make the adjustment and catch this out in front of him. End zone angle is going to give an even better view of this, where when this ball is in the air, you actually see that Pop and the linebacker are pretty much dead even. So again, Drake has to make sure this is out in front of the receiver to avoid hitting the linebacker or this being an incompletion. And then with him right behind, just a handoff. This is a beautiful, beautiful ball from Drake Maye. His second ridiculous throw of the game. And it's one of those where you got to remind yourself, because we all want him to be great and we want him to reach those levels where he is a true MVP candidate. And when you have the beginning and end he did, you start to say, he still has a ways to go. But at the same time, he's doing crazy stuff like this, delivering these crazy downfield handoffs to receivers with perfect ball placement. We're going to see one more before we close out. But I love seeing him attack cover 2 this way, where now you have a lot of fear in your heart as a defense, because he trusts Demario Douglas, a guy who runs a 4-4 against a linebacker deep, so you have to respect that. We'll see if defenses decide they want to keep running these types of disguise cover 2s where you have a linebacker mugging on the line of scrimmage, having to run all the way back and compete when they're in a bad spot. And then even as the outside defenders, you need to be wary of potential hole shots. So another beauty from Drake Maye, running out of superlatives, running out of compliments, just a beautiful, beautiful ball, and a great adjustment from Demario Douglas, sliding and catching this. Reminded me a little bit of his touchdown last year against the Chargers, where they got the offsides. Drake said, pops down there somewhere, and then Demario Douglas makes a great sliding adjustment and scores. So I hope they can keep building, man. They have so much potential as a vertical combination, but great step in the right direction there. And then shortly after, I think it was on the same drive, you also saw Pop take that end around for an explosive gain. So this was a big Demario Douglas drive.
Big Demario Douglas drive that, again, like I said earlier, he got credit for after the game by Mike Vrabel. Love to see that. We talk about handoffs and the ability to just put the ball exactly where you want it downfield. And I agree that this is in that category. However, Maye put it in the perfect spot where Pop still had to go get it and make a nice play himself. And not to take any credit away from Mack Hollins on this next one, he ran a great route, but all he had to do was run and just kind of flash his hands, and Drake just put it exactly.
I disagree. And we'll break down why.
Perfect. I like that. I want to hear that, because the handoff thing that we keep talking about, I feel like this one was just like insanely perfect throw by Drake Maye. And not taking anything away from Mack. It's still a great throw. But I'm glad you actually you pushed back there, because I want you to hear your side of it and break it down, because this was, again, more elite ball placement from Drake. It is the go route down the right sideline to Mack Hollins. So what did you see on this play, Taylor?
So honestly, this play kind of brought me back to the Saints matchup where Drake threw deep to Mack Hollins and there was too much physicality and he wasn't quite able to fend it off and make the catch. This time, Mack Hollins does a phenomenal job fighting through not just contact, but pass interference to actually stack his defender and make a play on this ball with not one hand, but two, but also, as you said, a ridiculous throw from Drake Maye. So let's get into it. 2nd and 6. Late in the third quarter, Patriots need to try to extend their lead. So we got Kayshon Boutte at the top next to Hunter Henry, who was off the line of scrimmage. Trevion Henderson in the backfield. Austin Hooper also attached to the formation, both tight ends off the ball. And then you got Mack Hollins on the line of scrimmage. Now, this is actually the same type of play that we broke down with Stephon Diggs in Tennessee, where the play is designed to be a quick out against off coverage, and it's really a pick your poison play. It's like, do you want to give up 6 yards or 7 yards and basically not even touch the receiver? Sometimes you can, but most defenses are going to give those up. Or do you want to be physical and say, we're not giving you anything easy and challenge? If you do, the Patriots aren't going to run an out against you. They're going to go vertical, because running an out against like this kind of coverage usually isn't a great idea. It's an out-breaking throw. If that guy's right on top of it, it's easier for them to make a play on it. But if you're just going vertical, you're giving your guy a chance to capitalize on a shot opportunity. That's what's going to happen here. Just focusing on one route. It is Mack Hollins. So the way that it's actually going to be run is this fade route against press, but he's only converting it because if it were off coverage, once again, you would throw this out route instead. So Drake Maye sees the matchup, gets the snap, and he sees they stayed in single high coverage. I'm going with my one-on-one opportunity. We also saw Kayshon Boutte running a vertical as well. But really cool to see him go to Mack Hollins, because we always think of Kayshon being that deep ball guy. But nope, Drake is also continuing to build rapport with Mack Hollins. So confirms the coverage at single high. He's going to target Mack Hollins. He's not quite even, but he's getting there. And again, this shows the amount of trust that Drake Maye has, because he's not even at the same level. Mack Hollins still has some ground to make up, but you're going to see from the physicality, it's understandable why Drake thought that his receiver was the one who was going to win this matchup. So at this point, with the ball in the air, ball is right around there. Mack Hollins is kind of locked up. This isn't just even. This is like, all right, this dude is in your body, but doesn't let that affect him and say, oh, like, ref, where's the flag? I'm getting interfered with. No, he's going to keep fighting through this. And then you see, again, if you actually see the play, it shows it much better. You can see he fights through contact and is able to stack the corner, where now he is clearly the man in front as this ball is coming down. Makes the play with 2 hands on the ball. That corner is still behind him, and Drake Maye, just beautiful ball placement to put it out in front of Mack Hollins, because this is a little shorter. Maybe Mack has to make some kind of adjustment, and it's a tougher catch. Nope. Great job by Mack Hollins fighting through contact, and Drake Maye putting it where only his guy could get it. And then Mack Hollins catches it, goes out of bounds, and that little guy right there is a flag. Because the defensive player did, in fact, interfere, but it didn't matter, because you can't beat perfect throw and a great catch.
So admittedly, when I looked at it myself, only watched the end zone angle, so you don't see the contact on the right, along the right sideline. So that's why in my head it looks like, okay, Drake sees his matchup, he likes it, puts it in the air, and just puts it right over the guy. And again, from the end zone angle, all Mack Hollins has to do is get his hands up where Drake does put a perfect ball. But you mentioned that, you show it on there. The contact he had to fight through, and the fact that, again, he fought through a flag and still made the catch. So fine, Taylor Kyles, you're right, I'm wrong. This was Mack Hollins just as much as Drake Maye, but again, still a great throw. And that is the reason why we're breaking it down is because of Drake Maye's performance here against the Bengals. So overall, some good stuff again from the Patriots' second-year quarterback in this one, and continuing to hopefully improve down the stretch run of this season. Before we go, any other final thoughts just on Drake Maye, what you saw in Cincy? And I guess I'll ask you what you think he may need to do here to improve off of this one down this important stretch run of the Patriots season.
Well, I will say the Giants, obviously the next team on the horizon, going to be a different type of challenge. They play a ton of man coverage, also a lot of quarters, so there will be some shot play opportunities. And I know we even mentioned in the postgame show that Drake wasn't good against man coverage. I don't think all of that was really him. I think some of that was the cover zero blitzes that led to some of his inefficiencies. Also thought that there were times that guys were open and he just didn't always capitalize. So we'll see whether or not he can bounce back, protect the ball, most importantly, against what very oddly, the Giants' team pass rush numbers are not good. They're like bottom 10 in pressure rate and sack rate. But Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter are still fantastic players.
Right.
And they're some of the best pass rushers at their position. So I don't know how that's being squared. I'm trying to ask people I know who cover the Giants, like, what is going on here? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. But really good defensive line, and you're going to have two backups on the left side. Right. So got to find a way to overcome that. And that's going to come down to getting the ball out on time, making sure your eyes are in the right place so you don't have to get to your second read unnecessarily. And of course, from Josh McDaniel's perspective, continuing doing what he's done and giving those guys plenty of help, because Vidarian Lowe, for all the crap he gets, he was solid, but also because he had, I think, one drop back where Drake didn't throw the ball in under 2.5 seconds and he was left on an island. So the scheme's going to be able to help, but the quarterback has to put his guys in good positions as well.
100%. Big test coming up against this Giants front. Some elite playmakers on that side of the ball against, like you mentioned, this Patriots offensive line that is suddenly deteriorating. We hope that these guys can come back down the stretch of the season, but for now, a big one on the horizon against the Giants. So as you know, we will have you updated here on Patriots Press Pass for all of the Patriots news, notes, and everything that happens leading up until Monday night. And especially here on the Patriots Daily Podcast. So thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in, all the members that were able to make it today, and anyone else joining after. You will get these early as a Patriots Press Pass member. So if you would like to, please join the channel here. You get plenty of perks that you can use, again, if you become a member of Patriots Press Pass. So we will be back tomorrow on Wednesday as the Patriots turn to Giants week. I'll probably have a mailbag for you, some sort of storylines, previews, etc. throughout the rest of the week. Probably be off Thursday for Thanksgiving, but then back Friday as well.
We're off? Is it allowed?
Well,
is that legal?
We'll have to ask John. We'll have to ask Zannis. I don't know. He might make us do an emergency Turkey Day podcast or something, but definitely Wednesday, definitely Friday, and we'll of course have plenty of content here from the rest of our pods on Press Pass as well. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you soon. Peace out, everyone.